and welcome. I would actually venture to say good morning. I know it's not morning for everyone, but sure is for me. Saturday morning. So, Saturday morning sword review. What am I doing here? I'm messing this all up. This sword here is the Nomad, the most recent iteration of the Nomad. From Darksword Armory. I've shown a couple people already, but yeah, this is it. So I've had this sword for about a week now. I think I got it last Friday. There was a mix-up with FedEx. I had to drive to another state. Don't tell anybody. God, it was a nightmare. But I really wanted my sword. So let's get into it. So a couple quick things. This sword, if you look online, has a couple iterations. Like I said, this is the most recent. That I was taking a gamble. There's one that's a fullard blade. You can tell this isn't. There's some that look a lot smaller. So, or not a lot, but I don't know why I said a lot. But some that are smaller. And then there's some. This hilt, man. We'll get to that. So I'll give you some specs on it. This thing is, this is 51 inches long, and it is 4.1 pounds, and point of balance is 4.5 inches from the bottom of the crossguard. So there's a couple specs. It's a hollow ground blade. Man, I left a smudge there. I'm a grease monkey. Anyway. It's a hollow ground blade, 5160 high carbon steel, and it came sharpened from Darksword. So there's just a couple things. So let's go down, pommel here, boom. We've got a relatively, see if we can see it here, rough peening job as far as got some hammer marks. I like the peen block look on this scent stopper pommel. I kind of like a couple hammer marks here and there. I know some reviewers really get into the nitty gritty on that. I actually like it, so good for me, I guess. Good for them, good for me. So the scent stopper pommel with these, I kept calling them facets, but I think the proper term would be ridges because it matters. I kind of dig it. And then we've got, these ridges do come out to, if you can make that ledge out, yeah, you can. Some big corners. And you'd think it'd be uncomfortable, but as you choke down, as you're gripping it, you're choking down, it's really not a problem. We've got a brown leather wrapped grip with a central riser. The grip is the big, so I'll just get into it. Other iterations of the Nomad, and honestly, I kind of wonder, I hope this is the direction Darksword's going in. Their handle is so fat in the ones I've seen, like at Cult of Athena. If you go on Cult of Athena right now, as of March 6th, 2021, like today's date, if you go on Cult of Athena, the Nomad does not look like this, and the handle is just so beefy. The grip, rather. This is really slender. It's got a nice flattened area here for blade indexing. Up top, like it's flat here. It does get rounded down here. It's not too slender, and I mean, I have big, meaty hands, by the way. So it's not too slender, but it is nice, and it's a little more elegant. It's a little rough too. You can see the wrapping job. It's like there's some kind of waviness to this. It's not perfect. Little fraying right there where it's stitched together, but it's stitched together really well. I don't know. I just really like it. Something about it's very handmade. Anyway, so up to the hilt. Yeah, I'll stop gushing about it, Adam. It's just a grip. Jeez. So this hilt is really nice. That's kind of what draws the eye to this sword. These wooden looking ends and then these leaves, and it's very elven inspired, very token inspired. um, I like it except for boom, yeah, you see the problem, don't you? This area in here, I've seen this on swords, so I'm not going to hold it against Darksword. I've seen this before, but gunk can really get in there and make life miserable. So just something to be wary of for me, I suppose. One thing that's cool is when you're thumbing the sword, you're switching grips and switching a thumb. Those leaves are in an awesome spot. So that's kind of cool. It feels good in the hand. So we'll get to that later. We've got a hollow ground blade. So from crossguard to tip, it's hollow ground. And if you look, there's no gigantic secondary bevel. I am super impressed with that, because the last dark sword I got had a gigantic secondary bevel, and this does not. And the polish job is their usual. Polish job is great. It's funny because here and there it looks like there's a bevel, a secondary bevel that's big, but there's really not. I don't know if it's just the way the waviness is, but so. And another thing I know, sorry, God, I'm an idiot. Another thing I know, like Matthew Jensen and the one or two dark swords he's reviewed, I think he's done two, maybe three, I don't know. And some other people is their hammer marks. Speaking of the hollow grind and their polish job, because their polish job is just, it's beautiful. They're very good at presentation on their swords. I think that's something Dark Sword does really well. There's two things they do really well. That's one, and I'll get to the other. So yeah, you can see these hammer marks if you look, but again, personally, I like it, so I don't really get the issue. Personally, I mean, everybody has their own tastes, and if people want it pristine and pretty, then that's fine too. I think it looks beautiful looking, slightly handmade, and that's their thing. All their swords look like that, so it must be intentional. So their other thing that I keep noticing from people that have a historical European martial arts background and whatnot is its handling. Its handling is, it's just amazing. It's 4.1 pounds. It handles better than some decent swords I have. So you guys have seen some of them. Some of you have seen some of them. I'd say it handles better than the Ronin Katana Euro model too. It's 4.1 pounds. I think the Ronin is 3, something like that, and this thing handles better. So, just a quick note on that. Yeah, it must be that point of balance or the way they did this hilt assembly or something. But yes, enough gushing about this blade. I really like it. I haven't cut with it yet, so I guess we'll all calm down for a moment and say, well, Adam, what if when you cut, you know, I haven't had good experience with hollow ground blades, to be honest, so I'm just hoping that this is properly sharpened and it does what it's supposed to do. And I love the fact that I got an iteration of this sword that I've never seen before. I haven't found this version online anywhere, so they must have switched it up at their shop, and that's what I got. Now it's discontinued, so hooray for me. Boo for everybody else. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day and stay sharp.